Welcome to Toffee TV. We are here at the Everton HQ, the Library building for Ronny Goodlass's book launch. Ron, look at this. A book you've written one.
Finally, Baz. For many years, people have asked me, about writing one. I thought, well, why not? It took about 12 months. I've done it myself. A lot of research, but as I say, just an answer to what a great club. Everton Football Club is. I mean, the editors and the history. You start looking back in the stories that I've wrote about myself, obviously from being a supporter to being a player. Youth coach, leaving and playing abroad. Playing in the Far East as well, and you come back. With the charity work, and obviously 22 years now as a Radio Merseyside pundit. So it's been a long journey, but I think eventually I had to put pen to paper or get the laptop out, and I've done it. So
you've done it.
A lot of stories, not a lot of good stories.
I'm amazed you've it's only 130,000 words, because you normally get through that in one of our videos.
Well, I think that might be the first chapter. I think that's the second chapter I'm working on.
Volume one.
No, but I've always said, if you're going to do anything, do it right. And for me, I didn't want to do a 150, 180 page one. Set myself a target, but as it was progressing, as I say, the different chapters and the different phases of my life and where I've played and what I've done, I just think you have to not cram it in, but it goes from the likes of Wesley and Labby. I do a chapter on them. I do a chapter on Bernie Wright, which the older people know, but the youngsters may have heard of him. But I've done that chapter because I was there, and again, it's an honesty in the book where everything's true what I'm saying, everything happened the way I say it in the book. And as I say, I'm just a supporter like yourselves, and I want our club to be the best it can be. And this, hopefully it'll tell us the way we used to be. We used to win things, absolutely fantastic club. We'll always be a fantastic club, but can we get back to maybe the heights that we used to be at?
What is there some stories that we won't have heard in this book?
There is, but honestly, Vaz, you'll be pleased with it. I mean, again, I didn't want to just say we drew the match 2-2. I want to say what happened before the match, in the middle of the match, after the match, what we used to get up to. I say about when we went to Marbella with the likes of Andy King and McPartland, and the things we got up to, and then again from when I was youth coach, coaching the likes of Michael Ball, Danny Cadamatri, Richard Dunn. And it's good, and as I say, from when you first started as a supporter, which I did, I watched my first game when I was 7, the Burnley home defeat, we got beat, they were champions the previous year, got beat 3-0, but it ended up, the official attendance was over 75,000, but I reckon it was over 80, because we ended up by the pitch, all the young kids, we were in the Goodlass Street end, I went with my uncle Tommy, and they put us onto the pitch because he was a crush. And we got beat 3-0. I was sold then. Once I seen Everton,
even with the 3-0?
Even with the 3-0, mate, I was gone. The old ball saying, once Everton's touched you, certainly touched me that day, and I was done ever since.
And that was a typical Everton as well. His first game, he got beat 3-0. What a story. What a story. But Alan Ball, obviously, cleaned his boots.
Done his boots. When I first joined at 15, I mean, you get assigned jobs. I mean, I've done the first team kits, but obviously the boots as well. I was signed to Ball. He's obviously had the white boots. So I was privileged to get the first white pair off him, but not like the slippers that they wear now. Years ago, the apprentices used to break them in, and I ended up walking around like John Wayne around Belfield after wearing them for a week. Then he just come in and went, "Thanks, Ronny." Just used to take the boots of me and go on his merry way, and I'd walk around with blisters everywhere. But because it was Alan Ball, you didn't mind. I mean, that's part of being as an apprentice.
Did you need much persuading to write the book, or is it something that you've always had in mind?
No. I think with people, it's like anything. I've been on your show a lot, and talking to you and Peds. I mean, you're as passionate about Everton as I am, and you've all got stories. But maybe I've been a little bit lucky that I've played for the club. I've been a youth coach. I can't remember the last match you missed, watching Everton. So it's from, which you've actually said, my football story from every angle. So it's being a supporter, a player, a coach, pundit, and it's a love for the club. But everyone just kept telling me, it's something where when you're doing after dinner or you're having a pint and you're telling a couple of stories, people say, you've got to write a book. And I thought, well, why not? So it's done, mate.
It's done. Well, not many people have done everything you've done. I mean, obviously, supporter as a kid, and then you got to play for us, and you went and played in other places, other countries, when it, you know, it was not unheard of, but it was rare. And then you've come back, you've coached at the club and everything, and like you just said, 22 years as a pundit as well.
Yeah, started when I was 8, Baz. So it's,
yeah, well, yeah, it's not bad. You're looking good at 27. That's sound.
No, but as you've said, I think you know, that way. I mean, I've got a bit of empathy with foreign players. I said when I first left Everton and went to Holland, I was one of the first. I went before Keegan, played at Holland, and again, you've got to understand you're moving to a new culture and. You know, new language. You've got to win over the dressing room. You've got to get in there. You know, you're a lad, you know, born in Everton Roads, and then you end up playing on the continent. That's what you've got to do. But I just think, again, over sort of advice to youngsters, I've always said pick your role models, and I certainly did. I mean, my first idol was Alec Young, but once Alan Ball signed for the club, I chucked him. You know, he was gone. But Bowley, where we've talked about before, is the standards that he set, and not just in games, in training. And that's the thing what everyone's got to do. Get out every single training session, be as best you can, not just fitness wise, but taking things in. You know, if the coach says do it this way, do it, and do it to the best of your ability. And he raised it, you know, the level of Everton. We won it 69-70 obviously in the league, but I think with other players, if you ask them, you know, Joe Royal, Colin Harvey, you know, God love him when he was alive, Howard Kendall, all said Bowley, best player they've ever played, you know, alongside. And the big thing is then, you know, if you're going out there and you've got a player as iconic as Bowley playing well, you want to be just as good as him. You know, you'll never attain that, but you'll get better than you were. And you know, as I say, I still think 69-70 for me was the best team we've ever had. I mean, you might say 85, 84, whatever, but I just think that team could fight. If you wanted to play football, they'd out football you. And there's a little story in there, well, I'll say 4 or 5 stories about Bowley, which, you know, once you've read it, you'll get it about Bowley. And the thing with him is like, you know, if you're trying to make the grade now, is to try and be like him for you know, for the standards that he set.
It goes, the last chapter you've mentioned was last year. Under Trump.
Well, I was going to leave it out. I mean, I didn't want to mention him. No, but I had to finish, Baz, with that. It was awful. It was an awful period for us. You didn't really enjoy going to Goodlass. Why? Well, I think it starts with the manager. You know, now totally different outlook. You know, he's positive. He's trying to get players to have a mental strength, and Everton side that you want to watch. You know, and a winning mentality, because he hasn't got carried away. You know, we've had a decent unbeaten start, but he wants better. He does. Which every manager you've got to do. But the more that I listen to him and look at him, he doesn't get carried away. We're going in the right direction. But I do finish off with it. And the nice thing about it, Everton read the proof. Okay. So I was thinking, hang on, it might happen this, but Everton are absolutely delighted with it. So you know, Everton don't hide behind maybe the failings that we've done. Right. Okay. So that's a good thing. But again, because the way they've done it now, they've got Marco Silva in. You've got, you know, sort of Marcel Brands. You've got a partnership there that for me will take us forward, and that's all, you know, that we want. And again, get, you know, a squad there that can do much better than we have done. And as you say, that last year was just a nightmare. It's just, you know, I think I'll expunge you from Everton's history. Just say we never played that year, but we're back on track. And as you've said before, totally right. What an iconic building this is. You know, we're going in the right direction on and off the field, and I think that's the way to go. You know, new board members, new CEO, you know, all positive for me. But as I say, we just have a little bit of patience as well, because there'll be a few, you know, well, it will be. I mean, any football club's got it. But I just think with ourselves, a little bit of patience, and hopefully we can get back where we want to be.
Fantastic. Is this on sale now?
Well, Thursday. It'll be out on Thursday, but you can go, if you see off our website, you can get that. We've been sending books. Funny enough, we've been sending books already to Norway. We've got New Zealand and Australia. Fantastic. So hopefully when the locals find out, we'll go. So once this goes out, we're sorted. But that'll be the end. As I say, appreciate everyone, you know, if they buy the book. But as I say, I think, you know, I always say it how it is, but I mean, I think you'll have a lot of funny stories, as well as finding a few new truths out as well. And in everyone's written books and in all of Everton's history, you've still managed to give us a first. Well, it's right. Well, you're always the ones. You're my main men. You know, I'm an interview for Everton TV. I'm on Everton TV next week. But Toffee TV,
there you go.
top of the list.
Straight on.
Exactly.
Straight on. With his Blue Nose book, that's a first as well. No one's ever called it Blue Nose, have they?
Well, in all the history, as I say, you know, once I found it, I went Blue Nose. I always on Twitter. I always, you know, wish, you know, a safe journey to all Blue Noses. And I was dying to say, well, actually, you know, my book's called Blue Nose, but it's out now anyway. But I think it says it all. Hopefully with the tower, it's iconic, and we've got Archibald Leach on the inside, where you know I asked for them two things to do it. But brilliant, mate. I'm glad it's finished. I hope everyone enjoys it.
Absolutely fantastic. Get your Blue Nose book, written by the man himself, written by his own fair hands. No ghostwriting for Ronny. Says it as it is. Check it out now, and he's going to be on our show as well next week, so check that out as well. Big thanks, Ron. Appreciate that, mate. Super,
nice one, mate. Nice one. Nice to see you as always.
Thanks for watching Toffee TV.